Hey there tech fans, Rick here again with another review, and today I actually have two drones. I have the DJI Mini SE and the DJI Mini 2. And the reason I'm doing the clip is I've had so many people ask me which of these two drones would I recommend for a new flyer, and that's an impossibly tough question to answer because it really depends on your budget and what you're going to do with the drone when you put it up in the air. So I thought I'd do a side-by-side comparison just to show you the differences between the two to help you make that decision. So for starters, your price is probably one of the gating factors on which of the drones you're going to buy. This one starts at $299 and this one starts at $449, and there's a Fly More package that includes a lot of extra accessories that's even more expensive. So right away, you know that you've got a $150 difference between the two, but that may be something you can justify going to the Mini 2 based on the specifications. So let me give you some of the basic specs. Both drones are under 250 grams, which means they're considered an ultralight drone, and that means you don't have to register them with the FAA in the United States. You still have to respect NFZs, so you can't fly them near prisons or power plants or airports or other restricted areas, but really 95 to 98% of the airspace in the US is wide open for flying. So when you power up the drone and the application comes up, it'll let you know, because it has GPS and GLONASS built into both of them, it knows exactly where you're standing, and it'll let you know if you're standing in a no-fly zone or not. It'll tell you, sure, you can fly, or no, you can't fly. If you get the no, you can't fly, just move a couple of miles away and you can probably fly your drone. So just respect those NFZs. The big difference between them is the technology built into them. So from a transmission perspective, this uses enhanced Wi-Fi between the drone and the controller. That's a really strong type of technology that's enhanced by DJI to sort of keep track of what frequencies you're on and jump between frequencies to keep that binding together between the drone and the controller. The challenge with Wi-Fi is it's got limitations as far as how far you can actually fly the drone, but even still, you can fly this 2.5 kilometers away. Now, I wouldn't recommend flying it that far because that's kind of the edge of your visual line of sight, and in the US, there are requirements to keep the drone in your visual sight when you're flying it, but 2.5 kilometers means you're going to get plenty of distance out of it. The Mini 2 uses OcuSync 2 technology, which is a patented DJI technology that enhances that relationship between the drone and the controller. So because of that, it's OcuSync 2 actually, because of that, this one can fly 10 kilometers away. What? 10 kilometers? I know it sounds crazy. Again, you can't fly at 10 kilometers because there's no way you're going to see this tiny drone 10 kilometers away. But what it means is you're going to have a stronger signal even in close when you're around noisy Wi-Fi areas, or you're flying near buildings or around trees. You're going to have a rock solid signal almost no matter what kind of interference you're seeing. So better reception, better transmission technologies. The next thing you're going to wonder about is how long can the drone fly? And this is going to blow your mind. 30 minutes, 31 minutes on a single battery charge. That's almost unheard of in drones of this size. Most drones this size and even a little larger, if I get 15 or 20 minutes out of a battery, that's a really good day. So having a drone that can stay in the air for almost 30 minutes or 31 minutes on a fully charged battery means I'm spending more time flying and less time charging my batteries, and that's a wonderful thing because I love exploring the grounds around me from the sky. So 31 minutes of flight time is pretty incredible. All right, the next thing you're going to consider is the camera package between them. They both use a 1/2.3 inch sensor, but the difference is this one can record 2.7K video at 30 frames a second, 1080p at higher frame rates. This one can record 4K at 30 frames a second, 2.7 at 60, 1080 at higher frame rates. So it's a better camera package, better video because it's 4K video, which is ultra high definition. This is just high definition video. So if you're a new flyer starting out, $299, you get pretty much everything you need in this package to get it up in the air and capture some amazing footage and some great pictures. If you're serious about flying, maybe you start here and you jump to this later on and sell this as a second-hand drone, or if you've got the budget for it, the Mini 2 is probably the perfect answer because you're going to capture 4K footage, you're going to be able to fly it longer, you're going to have a better connection technology between the two, so something to consider. Both of these drones, as I mentioned, use GPS and GLONASS positioning, so they know exactly where they are when you put them up in the air, and if you take your thumbs off the joystick, it's going to stay right where you left it, so it's not going to fly away like a lot of the less expensive drones tend to do where they'll drift into a tree. These, when you take your thumbs off, they're going to stay right where you left them. This one can fight pretty heavy winds. It's not great in really heavy winds, but they've really built it to be pretty stable in a moderate wind. This one can handle a level 5 wind. Now, I'm not suggesting you take a 250 gram drone out on the beach with a level 5 wind because the gusting could be higher, but everywhere I go to fly on a regular day, this one can handle the wind just fine, just like a lot of my medium-sized drones, so don't let the size fool you. It's incredibly good in the air. Both of these drones use the DJI Fly application, which has a ton of automated features and sophistication built into it, where it's got templates you can use. There are ways you can automate flight patterns. Like, for example, in this one, there's 4 different flight modes: helix, circle, droney, and rocket, which you push a button and it does all kinds of magical things in the air and automated patterns to keep you in the center of the frame, flying around you in circles or flying away from you and up. This one adds another feature called Boomerang, which is an incredibly cool mode where it comes close to you in the beginning, then swings way out behind you and comes close to you in the front. So literally within a few minutes of powering up the drones and putting them up in the air, you can hit a button and have it capture some amazing footage. So there's not a big learning curve on either of these. One other thing I wanted to mention is that all the skills you develop on either one of these drones, getting better on the sticks and learning how to fly it, are completely transferable to larger drones. So a lot of people that are starting out in the hobby will start with an SE or start with a Mini 2, get really good at flying that, and then they find they're bit by the drone bug and they really want to get a bigger drone. All the skills you develop on these you can easily transfer to larger drones. Matter of fact, if you stick with DJI, most of their bigger drones use the exact same controller, or at least the same style of controller, so it's an easy transition between different styles of drones. And that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. So my recommendation again is it comes down to budget and what you're going to use the drone for. If you're a casual flyer, you're going on vacation, you've got a couple of kids with you, your wife, they all want to learn how to fly a drone, the Mini SE is the perfect package. It's inexpensive comparatively, and it gives you a ton of features that you normally only find on really sophisticated high-end drones. If instead you're going to be doing any kind of commercial work, or you really care that you're getting 4K footage and you want to have the strongest signal possible, the Mini 2 is the investment you want to make. And again, this drone probably covers 60% of what I need to do when I'm flying. Even if I'm taking pictures for clients or I'm working with my family that want to get a shot of the house or whatever, this drone is perfect for that. So again, it comes down to your budget and what you're going to use the drone for, but you can't go wrong with either of these two drones because DJI's had a long history of building drones for decades, and they just build some incredibly good stuff that's reliable, and it's going to fly well, and it's going to behave when you put it up in the air, which is probably the most important thing when you're flying a drone. So I hope you found this clip helpful. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, stay nerdy.